Welcome to TA Outdoors, and this is another kind of bushcraft sort of survival episode. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and catch a fish, take it back to the camp and cook it. Now the only downside is we've got a really cold front coming in. Minus, what is it?
13.
Minus 13 degrees is meant to be coming in.
So where we're at, guys, is there some fishery, some lakes up here that we know we can fish. They're regular day ticket lakes, but they've got an outflow stream. And the owner told us in the outflow stream sometimes there's some wild fish. Could be baby wild rainbows maybe, or baby wild brown. So we're going to look in the outflow stream. Unfortunately, there's a big ravine down here.
It's a steep one.
We're still trying to work out how we get to the stream itself. Fingers crossed we can find a way through. If we can, we'll work our way up to the lakes and see if we can't get something to eat on the way up there.
I see the stars and the planets soon follow. Expect to have the universe by tomorrow. Just sit back and relax, don't worry. The world can wait, no need to hurry.
We got down, we found the stream itself that's coming out of the lakes, and there's quite a few bendy bits here. Lovely, what looks like miniature holding pools. If there were little baby wild trout there, I'm guessing they're going to be in a pool like that one there, because of where Mike is, there's an absolutely enormous tree there. It must be 100 feet high, that one. And where he is, he's just looking over there to see if there's any trout laying in that pool. But what interests me, this is totally natural. I've never seen this before in my life, I have to say. The tree root from that big tree is going right across the stream to the other side. Now, no wonder it's 100 feet high. It's got a natural water source, but more important, you can just maybe see there, it's creating like a backup, almost like a little weir, and that's pushing the water into that pool. I feel we'll give it a shot there first. And look here, guys, although it's a massive tree, I'm fascinated by all these funguses. Do they start, what are they called? Is it some form of what we call bracket fungus? They're starting at the bottom, they're quite rigid, and they're stacked all the way up there in tiers, almost like a ladder. It's a ladder for the leprechauns to go up. It's the magic tree of England.
What if it's me looking down on me? The world above must also be. This could go on for infinity. Color coded just to keep me sane. My world is finally starting to take shape.
Mike's just got a little out there. Unfortunately, I missed a tiny brownie there, so they are ultra spooky. We're going to keep working our way up this stream, have a few casts, and fingers crossed if we don't get one in the stream here, the outflow stream, work our way out the valley. I hope we can catch one up on the lakes, otherwise we're going to go hungry at base camp. Anyway, guys, we're here on the bottom lake, only a small lake, but they're staggered in tiers, and they've got this water running through them all the time, and it runs out down there, which we just covered. Not going to be many rising. It's the middle of winter, and doubtless it's going to be hard to catch one, because these trout will know, although they love cold weather, they might not like 13 degrees below. So we're going to give it a crack here.
Yeah, we'll give it a go. Another fish rise, look, just there.
That's good, that's good. Well, at least we see some movement. I didn't
Seeing
even
activity
coming up, yeah. And we've got small flies, little black buzzers, nothing too big. Now listen, we might have to go to a big fly, we don't know yet, but I figure I've got a black one.
I've got like a pearlescent.
Yeah, well that one you can fish, I think, a bit faster.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to fish this one slow. So we're going to mix it up between us and see if we can't come up with dinner.
What if it's me looking down on me? The world also be. This could go on for infinity. Color coded just to keep me sane. My world is finally starting to take shape.
Well, this is supposed to go on the totally awesome outdoors grill that we made, and I don't think it's going to fit. Now, if you get a trout, first thing you can do, guys, big one like this, is dispatch it. We use something in the UK called a priest, because it dispatches the last rites. If you're going to kill your fish, and I strongly suggest they are far better dead in the frying pan than live, straight across the top of the eyes, a couple of good whacks. It's dead, trust me. It might quiver, but that is one dead fish. Here you can see, look, you can see eggs coming out of this one, which in England we normally don't get fish like this. I know in places like British Columbia, Canada, you get other fish like sturgeon feeding on these eggs. Look, this one is just stripping eggs out all over. Now that there, in England we don't normally grow trout like this. We normally have what's called a triploid. A triploid, they shock these eggs with heat shock them when they first have them. They mix them with the milk of the male, they mix the two together, and they generally, I think, shock them to try and make them sterile. They want these trout to be sterile. They do not want them with eggs in it like this one. Trust me, survival situation, this trout's going in the frying pan. But I'm just trying to give you guys out there who might not be fishermen a little bit of history on the trout. So in BC and places like that, North America, they bundle these up and use them for sturgeon. The sturgeon will come and feed behind the various species of salmon, and they use balls of salmon eggs to catch virtually everything. Everything eats this. It's unbelievably high protein, and of course something like this is the size of a salmon, really a small salmon. Bears would absolutely love this, and of course this is all rich with those eggs. Now people could say, oh, that's destroyed that fish, all these eggs was hatched. No, this one, trust me, in the UK would be a rarity, a very, very much a rarity. As I say, they want triploid, they want sterile fish. A sterile trout does one thing: it eats. If it eats, it grows big, and that's why we get big trout here in the UK. They feed them, they stock them, and of course that's how they get big. Now this one's dispatched. We're going to gut this one, clean it, ready to take to the camp. Okay, best thing to do, listen, you could cut the head off of this one, but you've got the vent there where the eggs come out of. I'm just going to make a little cut there, split it all up, and then I can get the last of those eggs out and split all the way up the stomach. All these can be washed out. See all these eggs? All those can go into, put that there, the stream, as can the guts, because there's lots of little fish, other trout that's going to eat all these. Helps replenish the whole ecosystem, the whole food chain. You can rip all these out from the front to the bottom down to the vent. Always be wary, bear in mind filleting knives, bushcraft knives are sharp. Gonna go in there, rip out the remaining guts, slide that knife there, and there's everything in here goes into this stream and breaks down and feeds the next generation. What I might pay you to do is just split down this backbone here. Let me see if I can turn it. Just go down the back there, and then you can push your thumb in there like this and take all that blood out from the backbone. Keep it nice and clean. Any other bits you can just rip out. It all goes in the river, all goes in the stream, and wash this right out. Man alive, I can tell you, they don't need to tell me there's 13 degrees coming. I can feel by this water it's getting cold. There we go. It's all washed off, we can fish on. that fish won't, well, it's not going to break down anyway because it's so cool now. Let's wash that knife later. You could cut the head off there, cut the tail off. You can wrap it in tin foil and cook it. You could fillet that, in which case we didn't really need to take the guts out. You can fillet it if you wanted to fillet it, or you can even take off the gills here and you can bleed the fish if you want to bleed it. I think that might be a bit big for us, Mike. When we get it back, we'll get it to the camp.
Yeah.
We might cut off there,
Yeah.
cut off here, and we'll wrap this in tin foil, I think.
Yeah.
And try and maybe bake it and put some herbs and stuff in there. That is definitely going to feed more than 2 bushcrafters.
It is raining. A lot. But I'm dry. Under the tarp. I'm warm. With a fire. Fish. Guys, we're here at the camp and in traditional British fashion it is raining. But luckily, because of our tarp roof pulley system that Dad helped design in one of our videos recently, you can watch that, there's links in the description. It's actually brilliant, isn't it? It's all dry under here, the fire pit's dry, got the fire going, some nice warmth coming off that. Those freezing conditions are still meant to be coming in at the later on in a few days, but
Two-day gap we got.
2-day window.
What have we got? 2 days of English rain. 2 days of it.
Solid.
All the wood soaked, everything soaked except under the camp.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for the embers to die down on the fire at the moment. We had some amazing feedback from you guys on one of our recent videos where we talked about, we do a bit of theory time at the end, towards the end of our videos, and we talk about theories.
Yeah.
And we talked about the primitive man and how did they discover fire?
Yeah.
You know, how did they originally, the first man or woman, how did they discover fire for the first time? So what I read through from when I read through the comments, there was the big sort of trend really was between fire by friction and fire by flint and sparks. So are you a stick rubber?
Or a flint man.
Or a
flintstone.
Or a stone chipper, yeah.
I think, looking at those...
What would you be?
Listen, see some of those comments, because we don't know.
Yeah. Flint, sparks, or
I reckon
sticks?
it could be flint, because when you think about it, they got to kill things, haven't they? Whether they ate them raw, let's forget the sort of fire aspect, that's for keeping warm, but they want to cook something, they're going to have to kill something first. This is what I say is coming eventually. You've got to learn to go out there. You might have a nice camp, but boys, you're going to have to eat something. We got lucky we can fish, so we got the trout. Some guys who may be good at snares for rabbits, other guys or bow hunting for deer or something. You know, eventually you're going to have to get protein, you're going to have to eat something. That's what I'm saying, really. And of course I totally lost the plot.
Yeah.
So one of the comments that came up was about flints. Now if you were chipping and you're trying to make an arrowhead, a knife, an axe head from flint, I mean historically I think that was the basic implement they used, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you're chipping away
sparks.
Did the spark. Is that the way? I mean, we're going to have a go. We've got loads of flint. We've got a field full of flint about 4 miles from our house, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've been to find some great big bits of flint. We can't do flint napping. We don't know how to do flint napping.
We don't know what we're doing there.
I had to go with a club hammer. That's not good news. There's an art to it.
Yeah.
Maybe we might be able to find someone in the UK that does flint napping.
Yeah.
That can, you know, we can say, take these bits of flint and show us what you make. But maybe it came from the sparks. But of course, there could be another theory coming.
Yeah, we've got some ideas cooking up in their brains of ours. We've got some good ideas.
Our theories are cooking faster than the trout's going to be cooking on that fire.
So you had one this week, didn't you? What was it about? A primitive man again, I think.
We're still on that same basis of Because look, that's what we're trying to almost get back to, is survival mode when the supermarket's shut, and I'm sure one day they will shut, and it's going to be the woods people that will survive. I'm not saying forever, but the people that have got the knowledge will survive longer, no question of that. Because I know they said people are going to come out of the cities and they'll come into the woods. I think they will to burn fuel. How long are they going to last?
Yeah.
3 days? They can't. They don't know how to kill or eat. They don't know how to kill.
At the end of the day,
anything.
the city people are going to come into the country. They're going to come out, and the biggest thing will be humans versus humans. That is going to be the biggest thing, I think. And if there were like a World War III type situation and the world ended, I think that would be. Yeah, that would be the main thing, is the city people coming out into the countryside, and I don't know.
Well, I don't think they'd be able to travel far enough. If you were, let's say, because there won't be any fuel will run out so fast it'll be beyond belief. Dead. Cars will be dead. What are they going to go for? They get a horse? Hang on, I've got a feeling they're going to eat horses first because they want meat. You need to have your camp, I reckon, 2 to 3 days away from the major cities.
Yeah.
At least. Because then they're going to run out of steam to get to your camp. They're going to be weaker and weaker the further they get. I mean, look, we're not knocking city folk. There's people in the cities that go out in the countryside.
Yeah, there's very good.
They know all about it. But what we're talking about is a basic knowledge of people.
Of survival.
You need knowledge for survival. But I want to go back to this theory of the caveman, because it's really interesting.
It is. It's quite cool actually when you think about it. It cooks up in there, doesn't it?
In the evolutionary scale of things, let's take Darwin's theory. Let's take them all. I want to know, as caveman, we've all seen the pictures, and even on the cave paintings, the shape of them. Okay, so we're very, very, let's say, tied to the primates. I think is they're covered in hair, aren't they? So originally we were all covered in hair. I want to know why we are now rubber-skinned people.
Naked.
Listen, if you stripped us naked, we wouldn't survive probably hypothermia overnight in England.
Yeah.
Wow, we were like an amoeba. We're just a weird a skinned creature. If you think about it, we are almost like aliens. We should not be here.
My theory on that is, I reckon in a way it's to do with sun and light, because as the primitive man needed to get warm, he started designing more clothes from fur, animal fur, things like that. So they were covering their skin more. That gave them less vitamins, I guess, from the light. Their skin less vitamins, which maybe stopped promoting the hair growth, which is why nowadays we mostly get hair on our face because it's exposed.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just something to think
about.
Why
are we covered in skin? Because you could
head and face.
We talked about, we said, well, was it the Ice Age that made them grow all the hair to keep warm ecologically over generations and generations, hundreds of years, thousands of years, million years? Hairy, okay, fine, I can see. Ice Age, yes, you suddenly got growing hair. We then start, let's say, losing our hair through worry or whatever.
Yeah.
We lose our hair, we turn into these rubber people, thin plastic, okay, thin plastic people. But how come the primates didn't lose their hair? How come the sheep, the cattle, the horses, every other creature's covered in fur, and we're in this weird rubber plastic, easy to kill, easy to eat, lovely and soft. From a predator's point of view, my God, we're like marshmallows, aren't we? And I'll tell you what, this is the other thing. I watched a programme the other night on TV about the first man they discovered in the cave in Africa. Quite a modern film. This is only literally last night. And I got a bit engrossed in it, watching all this, because they're the same as us, they're theorising.
Yeah.
And what they found was a different type of jawbone here, those back teeth.
Yeah.
Now, we're a sort of crossover species, because you go to a dentist and he will tell you you do have canines. They're there, two pointed ones, and there. So originally they would have been like, let's say, baboons or something like that. So we did kill and eat meat anyway to start with, but then we've graded across to eat like herbivores, and that's why at the back we've got molars which grind like this. They grind food. So with a crossover, we're not great on pinning something down to, we have to kill it and cut it up with our hands. But I reckon originally there's a crossover between a total meat eater and the way we're going now, veggie land, is don't eat any meat, is, you know, you've got molars. So we're the balance of the two. And of course our digestive system, you guys still with us here?
Yeah.
The digestive system of a predator is, he has to swallow everything whole. He can't grind, he can't mash it all down like herbivores or we can. We got a different digestive system, as have the herbivores. They have to eat little and often. A predator has to eat once every, I guess, 2-3 days, something like that. Theories are there, guys.
Theory time.
I want to hear about.
Let it stew.
The rubber people. Those people. Why are we all soft and why have we got no hair? We don't have hide. We wouldn't last 2 minutes in the wild, really, if we were like stripped down to the bone.
Yeah. But let us know in the comments section, because we actually really do go through pretty much all of our comments and just have a read. And like you say, from the last video, we had some amazing
Some are
comments.
funny, yeah.
And actually some are really
Some are
funny.
really intelligent as
some
well,
are,
yeah.
some are really good, and actually they make you think.
Yeah.
And actually just reading the comments, you think, actually, that's a really good idea.
Never thought of that. Why are we rubber?
But also throw in some suggestions for theory time. What do you guys want to hear us talk about here at the campsite, here by the campfire? But just want to say the channel's growing really fast, so we'd like to thank you all for subscribing and watching the videos. Any new subscribers, welcome to the channel.
Yeah.
My name's Mike, this is Graham, my dad.
Mike started it all, nothing to do with me.
We do another channel, fishing one, which Dad actually does most of the stuff on. That's Totally Awesome Fishing, or TA Fishing. So subscribe to
Hence the trout.
Yeah, hence the trout. But yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. It really does mean a lot. And we will see you in the next video.
Let's eat that fish.
Oh, that's really smoky.
Smoke in the eyes. I've got no hair on the back of my hands. That's the other reason. I've got no hair. Most of it, guys, has been singed off. I'm going to lay this just there. Oh, man alive. It's steaming. The flakes. Oh, smell that now I've opened it.
Whoa, that does smell good.
Look at that.
Oh, that does smell good.
Yeah.
If only cameras could give off smell. So you could
Look at this fish. Look, the skin peels back. Beautiful flakes there. OMG, that is.
That's well good.
This thing fillets itself. A few bones in there. Look, just flakes. So there you go, guys. Catch your own trout, cook your own trout. That is, man.
That looks amazing.
I'm going to take some of this back in the silver foil when it's cooled off. So you can eat this cold as well.
The protein in that.
Let's give it a go. Watch out for the bones in fish, guys. And bits of pine needle. It's just flaking apart. Look at it. Come out there. If you do dump any carcasses or leftovers, make sure you do it and bury it well away from your campsite, or if it's in a river, throw it in the river, because you're going to draw any predators there. We've got no predators, we only got we've got politicians. I don't think they're going to be coming in the woods, but basically, yeah, you don't want to draw predators. In the UK we don't have them, but you know, somewhere else like bears. The one that used to scare me as a kid, a wolverine, the most terrible animal ever. But there you go, guys. What can I say?
What's your taste verdict?
Let's go to break a piece up. That is rainbow trout, English style, caught by our own fair hands. Admittedly, in not the best weather conditions, but it's fish, it's food, it's protein. It gets us through to another day. And it gives us an excuse, doesn't it, Mike, to go fishing again.
Oh yeah.
I feel a sea fishing trip coming. Vegetables next time, guys. Need some vegetables there.